do the color.
Cool. Sounds good. I've got our intro queued up and everything else. So. Welcome to Project Insights Power Tutorial Series. Today we'll give you an introduction to project level board views, a powerful way to help project, program, and portfolio teams visualize and manage work more efficiently. These dynamic boards include status board to monitor project progress at a glance, phase board to track project phase transition seamlessly, health board to see which projects are on track, at risk, or behind, priority board to prioritize and focus on high impact projects, type board to organize and filter by project type, department board to segment by project's responsible teams, planning board to drag and drop project starts on a schedule view. These board views are designed to enhance visibility, streamline coordination, and enable proactive project management, giving you the confidence to scale and control with clarity. A few housekeeping items. Everyone will be on mute. You are encouraged to use the chat to ask questions along the way. This session will be about 15 minutes long, and the recording will be available at the same link that you used to join today. I'm Mathew Sparks, the Director of Sales and Business Development here at Project Insight. With me today is Steve West, our CEO and founder. Together, we're excited to show you how these new features can streamline your workflow. Steve, you ready to get going?
Yeah, let's go. We only have 15 minutes.
So I know, it's a quick one. All right, yeah. So here we are on a program view. So this is where I have the ability to collect or to combine projects together within one viewpoint here. So you can see the projects that make up the tech program in this particular instance. In the same views tab that we're accustomed to on the project level, or even here on the program or portfolio view, I can get into quick access to my Gantt chart and understand, the timeline associated with all of these different projects that we have in play. But what we have now are a few new views here, right? So we have the ability to look at my project status. So in this way, I can visualize and understand where the project status is for each of the projects that make up this particular program. This works similar to our other Kanban views where I can drag and drop and move these over. I can still click on them and get detailed information of what's actually happening within the project itself. But the ease here is I can, move my projects from my planning to active state or put them on hold all in this one glance, right, Steve?
Yeah, and what's really nice about these Kanban views that show projects now and not the other views in the project show tasks, it's just a nice visualization. So if you're having a meeting, you can pull this view up and see where the projects are in a status, as opposed to just always looking at it in a list or a graph. So, and we actually have a lot of Kanban, so we're going to go through all the different ones that we added.
Right, like our phase, to your point, right? We're having our meeting and we need to understand where are we with the delivery of these projects. I can understand what's in initiation and if that's, moving forward, I can even progress that here as we go, right, Steve?
Yeah, and a lot of times the project's phases are just are moved forward by completing a milestone in the project. But if you did want to modify it again, you may have your executives. Here's the board where all the projects are in my program or my portfolio. Where are they in relation to each other? So it's just kind of a break from the list style view that we have, in the tool.
I think the phase board's also nice too, because we do have some organizations who are using maybe that top-down approach of resource allocation, and then you can still move across phase without a task being complete. To your point, right, Steve?
Yep, and even in this view in the portfolio level, you can swim lane them by program if you want as well. So the Kanbans work the same as the other Kanbans you might have seen in the tool, when they can do filtering and swim lanes as well.
Which is what you're talking about here, right,
yeah,
Steve?
More group by basically is the ability to swim lane those projects so that they'll be in separate bands.
That's right. And that equally applies to the idea of health, which is what we're looking at currently, right? So if Steve and I are talking about our implementations or whatever projects we're tracking here, and there seems to be a problem with one of them, I can just easily slide that over into the red category and then have the alerts take over at Project Insight to know that, hey, we're not doing so hot on this one.
Yep.
And then the last one that I think, yes.
One thing about this, this demo doesn't have colors on them, but they will show the color as well if you have them set in your view.
Right. That's correct.
Hmm.
Is the idea of the priority board, which I really think that this
Yes.
is strong because you can have that grooming session just like you can from our reports previously, right? All of our reports were editable and these could be manipulated there. But in this way, if something becomes critical, you can move that over and
Right.
designate that that's the fact, right?
Exactly. You
So
can just quickly, I mean, all the Kanbans work the same way where you can drag them between the columns and that makes it easy. And then obviously the view being a simplified view, a simplified way of seeing where things are.
I like this idea of being able to track priorities well because that can get to the granularity of me as just an individual
Hmm.
contributor and what I see on my work list as well, right? So if Steve and the project management team move my project into critical, that can then roll down to the tasks that I'm assigned to, where I can then see these by that same priority and say, oh, I better get this retrospective done because they just made it critical for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely everything's linked together. So if you modify the the status or the priority on the Kanban board, it'll automatically cascade in through, any of the other ways your data is being looked at.
That's right. And that equally applies to even just kind
Mhm.
of some simple ones where maybe you're looking to understand what type of projects you're working on, right? I can see that I've
Yes.
got two infrastructure, continuous improvement, where you may not move these across the board as much, right? You're probably not going to change the type of project I'm doing, but I have an easy visual for what that looks like.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and we have a question out there from Linda. Thanks. There's a question.
yeah,
Is there a way to view multiple programs in a view like this? So yes, if you go up to the portfolio, uh, it's still a project card, but if you were to navigate to the portfolio, which you could have gone to the view there as well, why don't you look at the health board or the priority board? We'll show you how to swim lane this real quick. So here we have all the projects in that particular, which is, this looks like
portfolio.
a different portfolio.
Yep.
Um, then you would filter and go to the group by and say, I want to see this by uh, company, or I get department there, or company.
Mhm.
There'll be in there a program option as well to swim lane them.
Yep. So you can then group them together just like you can in our other Kanban
Hmm.
boards, right?
Pretty much.
So
Yeah.
back to this particular program that we were in, although I could have done the same functionality on that portfolio view itself, right? The other way that we have the ability to see this again by the department that we're doing. So this is who's in charge of this particular project, so that you can do this.
Yeah.
The next and last view that we're talking about, I think, is maybe one of the most exciting when it comes to the ease of planning within Project Insight. And this is the idea of my planning board. So I can move the expected start date of these projects based on what we're seeing here. So currently we have these grouped by week. This will move that first task and then the rest of them to schedule based on the first work schedule day associated with that particular week.
Yeah.
If I want to come in here, I can rechange this, right, Steve? If I prefer a month format, I
That's
can look
right.
at it in that fashion, and then it will start on the first work day of the month, right?
Yeah, what this is doing is it's changing the project schedule start date that is available on the project form. Um, that's what this will do. When you navigate, you can drag them between here.
Or lastly, you can go quarterly, yearly, as you can see here, or even if you want to go granular, right? And the idea that I can look at the next few days, you can then decide, I want it to start on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then have it
Hmm.
cascade out from that point. So
Yeah, and all your
again,
constraints are still honored in there too. So if you do have a fixed date, this is really designed, this particular planning board is designed for maybe when you're not really started your project yet. You're still working on deciding what you're going to do, when you're going to do them.
right. The idea is these are my projects that I'm forecasting, and I want to decide when we will kick those off, right, Steve?
Yeah.
So, again, these new features are available now if you have the program and portfolio add-on enabled in your workspace. If you do have any questions in how we can get that enabled, please reach out to your account
Yeah.
manager. More than
And these
happy to get that going.
these add-ons are still in quote unquote preview mode. You're welcome to use them right now. Obviously been working on them quite a bit. Every build we're having, every couple releases there's a new feature in there. So if you're using this feature, you should continue to check in with it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's just to the point that this is one of the newer groupings of add-ons, and we enabled the task list to be able to see that
Yeah,
most
that was
recent,
last build.
the last build, and now we have all of the different board views as a part of that. So if you do have any questions, again, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
We really appreciate everybody's
And
time
I thought we
today.
were gonna let's show the task list again.
Yeah, you
One
want
more
to?
time.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll jump right in here. In fact, let's show, here's the task list here, where I
Right.
have the ability to then see all of the tasks that make up all of the projects within that program in this particular instance. I have the ability to, have that full function that I'm used to in all of Project Insight task lists, where I can drag and drop and move these. I can come in here and find my predefined layouts that we've saved. And then our schedule impact indicator comes into play here, where if I make a modification to something, I'm going to change this from 5 days duration to 25 days. You can then see how this will impact not only this first item here, but up into the summary that it's a part of, and then anything that's connected down below as well.
Yeah, and it
So
shifted the dates there on that summary there for intake. So
that's
that
right.
change. So and then each time you make a change, we're showing you the different things that happen. But what's really great about this is you can see all your projects in the portfolio or the program, and manipulate and edit them from one view. People have asked for this for quite a while, and we've got it in there now. You can even drag a task between projects if you accidentally put it in the wrong project from here. So this has been pretty. This is really helpful. So coming up soon will be the Gantt chart version of this as well. So that's on its way. And obviously, we're going to continue to add more views to the programs and portfolios, as well as more functionality in these features. So be on the lookout for that.
That's right. I will touch on, while we're here, just on the task list really quickly, to show the fact that if you are using that portfolio view, it does combine them in the
That's right.
programs, right, that make up that individual portfolio, and then you can still drill in and have that same functionality, to Steve's point. So
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, everything you see on the program has a reflection mirror in the portfolio. It's just that you have your project views, which is individual project. Then above that is the program that the project is in, and above that is the portfolio that the program and everything is in as well. So it gives you that, enterprise 3 level worth of organization of your projects. And the great thing about using the programs and portfolios is it will automatically, you can already do portfolio reporting in Project Insight before, but this makes it so that you have these quick views you can just click to. You don't have to go into the report and say, I want to just see this portfolio, and I want to see this program, or I want to group by the program. You can just have your stuff already organized in there, and then these views are literally like interactive reports that you can use without having to do any extra work.
yeah, it's segmented out to what you are
Pretty much, yeah.
looking at right then and there. And to Steve's point of the predefined views, these are the views that you're often accustomed to seeing within our platform anyway, right? So
Yeah, it's
the same
similar.
style, right, that you would see on the project level, then rolls to the program, which then rolls up to the portfolio. So
Yeah, so if you
regardless,
but if you're familiar with how to do a project in Project Insight, then you pretty much can use these other views. Just knowing that it's rolling up, it's creating a project. A master project is what sometimes people ask. Hey, do you have a master project? No, well, we have a program, and then you can put a bunch of projects in it. Or the similarly, people ask about sub projects. Well, this gives you that sub project, master project capability.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your account manager. We really appreciate that. This link will be accessible here when we're done, and we appreciate everybody's time.
Yeah, and thanks for all the VIPs customers on there. Thanks a lot for your business.
Thank you.